Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi. Gosh, I almost had it right there. Look what we got today. Some vintage Division 1.
Warning. Hostiles detected nearby.
One of the things about newer games and everything, we get told that when it's newer, it's better. And there are some improvements. Think about the improvements of Diablo 4 over Diablo 3. Think about the patch over the original. And yes, not everything that's new is better. Also, I'm not going to say that the older games are better. I'm just saying that there's room for everything. Sometimes we think the newer things are the better things. And you would hope that there would be some improvements. But rarely is something 2.0 is better than the original. A couple things come to, everyone says Godfather 2 is better than, Godfather 1. It's one of the better sequels. And you can have a top 5 list or top 10 list of those kind of things. I'm not trying to sell you on the Division. If you played a Division 2, then you've had your fill of the Division 1. That's number one. Number two, when you play the Division, you're going to run into a game that's hard. And it's not hard in the friendly way that the Division 2 is. The Division 2 clearly stakes out areas that are easy, hard, challenging, heroic, and legendary. I'd say the one area that is not like that, that's kind of amorphously hard, is that new descent mode. And it's hard just because they've artificially made it that way. So I'm doing a hard subway solo, one objective, but the mission is a timed mission. So once I get in the area, it'll set off a timer. And what you're going to see here is a senior moment. I forget how to get in here. There's a switch right there, but I just don't recognize it. I'm going to look all over for it. I am thinking about just rolling through it. And I guess I could have thrown down my healing and then rolled through it, but I'm not that smart. So that's kind of the title. That's a Daft Punk song. But, that's a thing that there's these improvements that you think things are getting better. Also, I want to do a timeout right here. For whatever reason, I'm a numbskull. I would love for you to comment. And it's got to be frustrating for those of you that want to comment. Because out of the last 4 videos, 3 of the last 4 videos, I've somehow disabled the comments. So there's a section in the comments. If you go in Creator Studio, you go more, you go down, scroll down, and that's where you can put on comments. I've just left it on the default. The default has always been let everyone comment except hold inappropriate comments. Who knows what an inappropriate comment is? I'm sure you guys could teach me, but I don't need that lesson. Thank you. So this heavy's going to be a little bit hard. Again, this is only hard, but he's level 34. You're going to see I kind of have a hard time. And you'll see the differences with Division and Division 2 in this video on what the heavies do. So I apologize. I've left the comments off. Sloth Moods has been really vigilant, and I appreciate it that he said, hey, you got the comments off. You keep saying you don't want the comments off, but the comments are off. So I turned the comments back on. Nothing. I appreciate. Please let me know if I've screwed something up. That's what I'd like. I would like for you to be able to comment if you want to. I gave you the whole spiel about my commenting thing, and then when I listened back to some other videos, I didn't always say you could comment, because at a certain point, it's really up to you. But yes, I appreciate you commenting. I'm not trying to do anything nefarious. This is just my incompetence coming through. This is normally what I'd ask you to like, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, hit the notifications, and comment if I've turned it on. I also have a Discord channel, so he reaches me on that Discord channel. This is not a nefarious way to get people to comment on Discord either. It is a place where you can communicate with me that I've screwed up, and I appreciate it. And again, I want to thank Sloth because that is not my intention. If he didn't let me know, I would just be going on setting all these videos going, oh, I guess the algorithm shut me off. Now, I'm not actively clicking that button, but what I think is happening is sometimes I'm cutting and paste. What's different that I'm doing before YouTube? I used to type in all this stuff originally every time. And so what I'm doing now is I'm cutting and pasting from like a previous video into the title and into the description. And then I'm changing whatever number it is. And somehow I must be copying over, everything. And so that's probably what's happening now that I'm thinking about it. So this is just me being lazy. This is me not being better, harder, faster, stronger for sure. This is just me being lazier. When I get more of a, when I show you my stupid ugly face, Pink and the dogs are having a standoff. So I have one of those stepper, okay, YouTube, I don't care what the trash can is like, but Mrs. Ronakazi, I got a whoopie-doo trash can here. Pink likes to sit on it, it's near the door, and Caesar and Pink were having a standoff. I just let them outside. So I apologize about the comments. But this is about old games. There's Roxy, and there's a dog across the street, which I don't know its name, and there's Roxy, which will then start maybe Macy. The Division 1 is hard. So going through here, not so hard. I finished this underground subway. I really love this version of the game. And this is what I wanted Descent to be. This is what I'd want any game to be, where I can just have a mode where I can play. And I'd like to really pick the enemies so I could use a build to go against the enemies that I want to, test my build on. And I can do it over and over and see what the damage differences are. I want a theory craft in a lot of these games. But YouTube, besides survival mode, which is horrible, they have this mode right here. This is like the aircraft carrier. This is the west side of the Division, and this is tough. This is kind of equivalent to a legendary. I've told you before that in a lot of my builds, I will have, reduction against elites. And it's the purples and the reds that end up getting me. Well, in this mode, they got all rushers coming at me. And every different type of rusher. And that shield guy is hard. And this is my skill build. And so this is a foreshadowing of what's going to come. Here's some of the things that are wrong with the Division or make it harder to play. You can't pick up your skills. Now, your skills sometimes will overlap, where you can put them out like the turret will be up. Before it runs out, it'll be back up, so you can throw out pretty much endless turrets unless there's a catastrophic failure. That's not so much on the healing station, but the healing station's pretty fast. And this might be called Camp Clinton, is the house, safe house you go to. And this is where having that drone in the Division 2, you miss having that drone here. You can do Seekers, and the Seekers are a little bit better here because they have bleeds on them, but I'm not going to run into that. And so you would think that this is quote-unquote easier than the Division 2. Because it's older, but it's not. And talking about games that were harder, there's games that are just purposefully hard. One of those is Elden Ring, and that's just hard right off the bat. But you know that going into the game that it's going to be hard. Ninja Gaiden was a game like on the Xbox that was really hard. unforgiving, some might say. And I've talked to you, I think either video 250 or 150 was about playing hard content. I think it was video number 251 was like hard content, why you should play it. And that's why I'm doing this. I like playing the harder content. I like testing my metal. But as you're going to see here, I'm going to get smoked. I have changed my interface so I don't have the radar up as much. There's my get out of jail free has already fired, and they're going to keep killing me. These guys are going to charge and charge me. And one of the YouTube, this is normally when I ask you to like, share, comment, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe. I'm dead. What you didn't see is I put up my shield build. Now again, if you saw me play in Division 2, I have a shield that reflects stuff, the Captain America shield. I don't have Captain America shield here. What I have a build with the Ninja backpack here. I have a build that has Nomad, so I'm always healing. And I have the shield build, so my shield's better. But you can see, this is just a tough way to go. And this section of the division is hard. This Camp Clinton is hard. Because there's just a lot of enemies. And what makes it hard is that they're different levels. Again, you can kill reds relatively easy. But the problem when you're killing reds or purples and then yellows is you can't make a build. A lot of times you have a build that's good against golds, but I'm not facing all golds. I'm facing the other guys. There's my son as a ninja behind me. Ninja. And so what happens is, this is just what a legendary is like. Now, I don't have it set to legendary. I don't know what my hardness is. It might be on challenging. But just the fact that there's so many mobs, it's a little overwhelming. Normally when you roam in New York in the division, you can roam by yourself and you can handle everything, but this makes it a little bit tougher. I'm shitting bricks so much at this point, like I'm going to run around with the shield, because the shield, again, this is another mechanic. That shield was broken for a long time in the division, and they fixed it. I understand why they went to the division too. They fixed all these things. But it'd be nice if I had the Division 2 mechanics here in the world of the division. And that's what I talked about, older games, maybe newer games, when you want them to be, you know, I'd want the Division 1.5 would be the Division 2 mechanics in the Division 1 world. Would I pay money for it? Yes. Are there people that pay money for the Division 1 with maybe better gameplay? Yes. I don't know if I can talk to you about Breakpoint or whatever it's called, the new Homeland, but I will, when I'm allowed to talk to you, I will talk to you about it. So I'm going to go back to the scene of the crime. And again, what's great is they start spawning people behind me. So one of the things is you've never really cleared the area. So part of the hard thing is to get and look. This is a rookie mistake. YouTube, this is normally when I ask you to like, subscribe, share. Please, for God, my camera. YouTube, I can't see my camera. YouTube! And a fire guy? All right. There's my emergency heal. And in a recent video, I showed you that I got a yield. I don't mind backing up, fellas. I'll headshot you all day. Can't push a bad hand. So even though the game migrates and gets better, might get newer, better, faster, whatever, your gameplay's still going to be the same. Sometimes it's not your gear, it's your gameplay. There's sometimes you just got to get back into cover, reset everything, and then start again. In YouTube, sometimes you may have to just stand your ground. And you may say to yourself, I have ran long enough. Especially with a guy that has a fuel tank on his waist. Sweet cleaner, we hardly knew ye. YouTube, thank you. Not everything new is better. A lot of times it should be. But sometimes just some good old-fashioned, oh! And that's Roxy in the background. YouTube, thank you. And good night, Irene.